Hello everyone. Today I'm going to answer a similar problem that you have on the quiz for the chapter. I think it's 7 and 8 chapter. And the reason I'm going to answer this is to help you to understand how to find limiting react and how to use the percent yield. So this video eventually will be a little bit longer. So be ready for like probably 20 or more minutes of explanation. So let me get the okay. Let's start with the red color and start answering this one. The first thing that you need to do is write in the equation. So silver nitrate will be this formula, and it says soluble in water. That's why I had to put the AQ means water. It's reacting with hydrochloric acid. The formula for hydrochloric acid is this one in solution, and the yield they produce a precipitate of silver chloride, and the precipitate of silver chloride will be this one in a solid uh, state because it's a precipitate. And this is a typical double replacement reaction. So the silver will take the place of hydrogen, and the hydrogen will take the place of silver. So one of the product, okay, we already combined silver with chlorine, forming the precipitate they say here. And the next thing will be combining together the hydrogen with the nitrate, forming a solution. It should be a very dilute solution of nitric acid. And that will be the first thing that I will do. Next thing is making sure the equation is balanced. So let me remove my arrow here, and I'm going to count every single thing, because if the equation is not balanced, you cannot do any calculation based on the stoichiometric of the reaction. So we have one silver here, one silver here, one nitrate. Remember, you can count nitrate as a whole unit. I also have another nitrate here, one hydrogen, one chlorine. So you don't need to add any coefficient to the reaction because it's already balanced. So they gave you 35 grams. I changed the number, by the way. I changed all this number because I want you to try the one on the quiz. So don't trust my result as the final answer for your quiz, because I modified the number. The problem is exactly the same except the number. So they gave you 35 grams of silver nitrate. Mass of silver nitrate will be 35.00 gram, and the mass of hydrochloric acid is equal to 45 gram. And they give you, this is the actual yield, because this is the mass of this compound that is being collected. So let me call actual yield. And the actual yield, I will show you the formula in a few minutes. That will be 23.5. So percent yield formula, that will be percent yield will be actual yield, which is the given on this problem, over theoretical yield. That's the one we need to calculate using the limiting reactant times 100. So this is the formula that will help us to answer C. But before answering C, we need to find the limiting reactant and the theoretical yield, because we don't have that one. The denominator one we don't have. How can we do that? Okay, first thing that I'm going to do is converting the gram to mole. Why is that? Because the coefficient that you have in front of every substance is expressed the relationship with the mole, the way they react. So I'm going to do the following. Silver nitrate, number of mole, will be the mass of silver nitrate over the molar mass of silver nitrate. and the mass is given 35 gram, 35.0 gram, and the molar mass, I'm going to quickly find that, but if you don't know, I can show you how to find the molar mass. Let me go my periodic table quickly. The molar mass of silver nitrate equal to, let me find the atomic mass, okay, is 169.87 gram mole. So gram and gram cancel out. Okay, maybe you are wondering, how did I get this number from? Let me write, okay, let me scroll a little bit up and I can show you how I can calculate the molar mass of silver nitrate for those of you who don't remember how. I will do the following: one time, because I have one atom, time the atomic mass of silver. You need the periodic table for finding this. You need to check the periodic table. Plus 1, because we have only one atom of nitrogen, time the atomic mass of nitrogen, plus 3, because we have 3 oxygen, the atomic mass of oxygen. So the first one will be 1 time molar mass of, or atomic mass of silver will be 10787, 10787. If you want to know the unit, you can say 1 mole of atom over gram, yeah, no, 1 gram mole. That's it. You don't have to worry about the unit right now. Yeah, let's make it easier. The unit of any molar mass will be gram mole, the way I wrote here. So that will simplify my calculation. The atomic mass of nitrogen will be 14.01, and the atomic mass of oxygen that I'm going to use, that will be 16.00. Just multiply this, which is the same number, and 3 times 16, and the answer that I got is 169.87 and gram mole. That's why I calculate this one at the bottom. Okay, next thing is dividing both. So I'm going to use my calculator for that. So I'm going to divide 35.0 over 169.87, and I got the following answer because we are using 4 6 fixed here. Well, yeah, we have 4 on top and 5 at the bottom. Let me answer using 4. So that will be the mole that I have for silver nitrate here, point 0.2060 mole. And then I have to do the same thing with the hydrochloric acid. I will divide the mass of hydrochloric acid over the molar mass of hydrochloric acid. Mass is given on the problem is 45 and 0.00 gram. And using my periodic table again, I can calculate the molar mass of hydrochloric acid by multiplying 1 time the atomic mass of hydrogen plus 1 time the atomic mass of hydrochlorine. And the answer, I have my calculator online. I got 36.46 gram mole. Gram and gram cancel out, and I need to use again my handheld calculator. That will be faster. Divide 36.46, and I go 1. We have 4 6 fixed on top, so I'm going to use this number, 1.234 mole. And that will be the mole that I have available for reacting. But I don't know if which one of them will be limiting the reaction, because remember, the one that will be uh, finishing the reaction will be the limiting reactant. One way, not the only way. This is just one way to calculate the limiting reactant, is doing the following. First, testing silver nitrate, E5, and then testing hydrochloric acid. I need to find which one of them will produce the least amount of silver chloride. How? Okay, notice that on my coefficient, 1 mole of silver nitrate is producing 1 mole of silver chloride. So I don't need to do a math, but if you want, I can make a following proportion. 0.260 over 1 equal x. I need to find what will be the value of x over 1, and the answer will be x will be also 0.2060 mole of silver chloride will be produced using this equation. And then I had to do the same thing with the hydrochloric acid. Let me this is just a way to make it easier to understand. Instead of using x, I'm going to use x sub 1 and calculating how much uh, silver chloride can be produced if only hydrochloric acid react. So I'm going to put 1.234 over 1, which is the coefficient here, equal x1, which is the product that I will get for silver chloride if only hydrochloric acid react. And again, the answer will be, this is just multiplying cross multiplication, 1.234 mole of silver chloride if only hydrochloric acid react. So now we are close to answer the first part, the limiting reactant. The limiting reactant will be the substance that produce the least amount of product, and that will be silver nitride, because it's only producing 0.2060 mole, and the hydrochloric acid will produce more than that. So this is my limiting reactant. So the answer for the first part will be silver nitrate. Now I'm going to find the theoretical yield. How? Well, I have already the mole of silver chloride being produced. So the only thing the easy way to do is finding the mass, and that will be already my theoretical yield. How can I do that? Number of mole of silver chloride will be equal mass of silver chloride over the molar mass of silver chloride. And if I want to find the mass, that will be the answer for B, theoretical yield. Let me find the mass of silver chloride. That will be equal number of moles of silver chloride times the number of moles times the molar mass. Let me scroll my screen a little bit up so that will give you more room for writing. So how many mole do I have in the product? The one that is being produced by the limiting reactant. 0.2060 mole times the molar mass of silver chloride. You need to use the periodic table using the formula again for finding the molar mass. And when I do that, I go 143.32. I'm using my online calculator for that, and that will be multiplying those two numbers. Let's see if I can now. 0.2060 times 143.32, and I go theoretical yield of silver chloride. The answer will be 29.52 gram. So that will be theoretical yield. And based on the formula, if you remember the formula, this is the formula that I'm going to use right now for finding. So I already got the answer. Let me go back to, so that the theoretical yield is 29.52. Sorry. 29.52 gram. Is that the right? Yeah. And now is percent yield. I'm going to scroll up a little bit, and they gave me the actual yield. So percent yield will be equal. Actual yield is 2350 gram over theoretical yield. That's the one. That's the max amount of silver chloride that I can get. A gram and gram cancel out times 100, and dividing the two of them. Let's do the division. 23.50 divide 29.52 and multiply by 100. I got the percent yield is 79.61%. Remember, none of these numbers are, well, maybe the percent yield, yes, because I did I reduced the mass in 10 grams, so maybe, but the percent yield maybe will be the same one, but that will be the answer, okay? Percent yield limiting reactant will be silver nitrate. Theoretical yield will be this one, 29.52, and the percent yield will be 79.61%. Okay, one more thing. Going back to the question, I want to make sure about the following. Every time you had two or more reactant and they give you the mole or the mass of those reactant, like 10 gram of this and 5 gram of the other and maybe three of the other, because you can have three reactant also, okay? It's not always will be only one. You need to calculate the limiting reactant before doing any other calculation, because you don't know which one of the reactant will be limiting the reaction or stopping the reaction. The other thing you need to keep in mind is the following. If they say silver nitrate react with enough hydrochloric acid, when you read that word enough, it means the limiting reactant is the one that they gave you the mass, because the other one will be excess, or as they say, enough, so that will not stop the reaction. One more thing I had to mention is the following. Always balance the chemical equation before doing any calculation, because without balancing, everything will be wrong. You need to balance the equation. And and the other thing that I want you to know is the following. You need to, beside balancing the chemical equation, you need to do the following: converting any mass to mole, because the ratio on your chemical equation will be on mole. That's all I have for this time. If you have any other question, feel free to email me, and I will be answering, making a short video for you. Thank you for watching.